thank you all for being here, and also thanks to our sponsors. I hope you have time to go and visit the booths, talk to them, and also I hope to see you all in the afterworks after the event. I'm Karoliina. I've been actually presenting Teamsdagen. I think this is my sixth. I have been here 6 times. This is the first time I'm doing this in English, and I've been talking Swedish quite a lot during this day, so I hope I can actually speak English today. I come from Finland. I'm the head of modern work at OP Financial Group, which is the biggest financial services provider in Finland. I've been a consultant for over a decade, so I switched to the customer side about a year ago. I'm now a recovering consultant. And that QR code goes to my LinkedIn. If you want, I'm quite active in there. And today, I'm going to talk about Whiteboard and a little bit about Copilot, a little bit about Loop, but mostly about how to facilitate impactful workshops or meetings. I will give you so many, I haven't counted, but so many tips and tricks and ideas. I hope you can remember maybe 2 or 3 when you walk out from the room. And for some reason, I promised to make a 100% demo session. So this is my only slide today. Yay. Everything else is demos. Let's hope everything works. Are you ready? Yes. Yes, cool. Am I ready? I hope so. Yeah. Okay, so let's think of a situation that we are having a meeting, a workshop. It can be live on site, it can be hybrid, or it can be, thank you, it can be fully remote. In this scenario we're having today, we are thinking about a 2-hour-long internal workshop, so with no external people in the workshop. Some things I'm going to show you will work with externals as well, but not all of them. Please don't ask any difficult governance questions. We don't go into those in here. Maybe Stola can answer to those. Maybe.
If you get a question, could you just throw another glass?
Yeah. I didn't throw it, it fell.
Fine.
It
fell another glass.
It fell. Okay, but when we are having a meeting or a workshop, there is 3 stages to go through. There is before the meeting, during the meeting, and after the meeting. Nothing new for no one in here. We are focusing today in during the meeting section, because we want to show and we want to see a lot of functionalities within Whiteboard and a bit of facilitation techniques as well. But let's start with creating a good meeting invite. You know, everyone knows how to create a meeting invite, but I can assure you that 99% of meeting or workshop invites we create are bad.
You can say that.
Are bad. It's transcribed.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, are bad. We don't actually follow any of the good rules we know that we should follow. But let's go through some of them. So I'm now in Teams, but actually you could do the same thing in Outlook as well. I'm just using Teams for demo purposes. There's also a Teams meeting start. I will click that away. The view in here is pretty similar if you open Outlook, but let's go through a couple of details from here which are important when you are planning a workshop. So I will do a demo workshop, and I have agreed that my colleague Tero is my demo person in my workshop. So a couple of things. You can nowadays click this in-person event toggle in Teams meeting. What it does anyone know what it does? It creates a word in there. It's an in-person meeting. It doesn't do anything else. It doesn't even take away the Teams meeting from the meeting. But, well, now maybe someone finds out it's a live in-person meeting. You can use this if you want to. I still want to have Teams meeting on in my meeting because I want to use Copilot and a facilitator in my meeting. I can also turn on facilitator. It's rolling out at the moment, so if you haven't seen it yet in your tenants, it's coming sooner or later. Okay, so Copilot on, facilitator on, and we will go through a couple of meeting options soon. If you roll down, you have actually the place where you normally write the agenda. I'm right? And I could ask Copilot to auto-draft an agenda. Let's see what it does, because I didn't give any instructions. It just comes up with some agenda, and it's pretty good at it. It's like scarily good at it. So it's searching for something. Yeah, I don't know, let's keep it. It doesn't matter at this point. It talks about actually our collaboration with Elisa and Opie. So this is the normal place you would write a meeting agenda. But here in below, which I can show you because it's disabled, it's a bug, it shouldn't be disabled. Here is actually the loop meeting notes section, where you can also put the agenda. And if you're wondering which one should I use, at the moment I would say use both. So put the same agenda on both of these features. Then it's easier for the attendees to see what you're going to go through in the meeting. So a bit stupid, but it works. Couple of meeting options. I have Teams Premium, so I have a little more tools in here than a normally person would have. But regarding workshops, there are a couple of things we want to go through. First of all, lobby. You might want to restrict or allow people to come through the lobby. Just don't let everyone to bypass the lobby. Then you will get some AI agents coming to your meeting. We don't want that. Then you can, let's roll down, choose co-organizers. And this has been I would say still recently new thing in Teams, that when you are having a meeting, you can actually add someone else to co-organize the meeting for you. So they can handle the settings, they can handle the lobby, etc. Very useful thing to use. I very rarely see this used in organizations. So you can add a co-organizer. It's also good if I'm having a meeting and I'm sick in the time of the meeting. So my colleague can take over the meeting and I can stay in bed. Then we have Q&A. So of course, when we are in a workshop setting, we want to allow mic and camera for all the attendees. That's pretty normal. But you can also toggle on and off Q&A. Usually in a workshop setting, we want to have this like free flow of discussion. But sometimes it's also useful to have a little bit more formal Q&A in your Teams meeting. So you can utilize this feature for that as well. You basically have a separate meeting chat where you can curate the questions and answer the questions inside the Teams meeting, outside the Teams chat. And then, last but not least, if you have Copilot, and maybe if you just want to transcribe the meeting, you can actually nowadays set the Copilot and transcription on before the meeting starts. How many times have you been in a meeting and then like halfway during the meeting you've been, oh, I forgot to put Copilot on. Yeah. I actually use this in every meeting I have nowadays. So I go to meeting settings and just put everything on automatically. The perfect part is that you can actually choose the language as well, because usually we speak Finnish in our meetings, and I can already choose Finnish from here. Now we can avoid weird situations with the transcription that it tries to interpret Finnish as English. And then here is also the facilitator setting and another language setting for the meeting. So quite a lot of settings you actually should go through before even sending the meeting invite or starting your workshop. Still with me?
Yay!
Yay! That was very, very eager of you. Thank you, Pia.
Supportive.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm still shaken by the classes.
Take care of it, girl.
Thank you. Let's go to our meeting. So, we don't need that. We need this one. I made a demo meeting for us, also made with Copilot, and I will join the meeting. I will put everything off, since I don't want to disrupt the transcription and everything. And now we are in our workshop. So, if you want to, or if you need to change the settings we just did, you can actually do those in here as well. So go to settings and change something if you didn't do it beforehand. But I strongly recommend actually going through the settings before your workshop starts. It's just easier for everyone. I've set on facilitator. As you saw, it's working silently in here. It's working. At the moment, it doesn't do anything because I have everything off, like my mic is off. But I've run this meeting with a AI agenda, with AI speaking all of this, and I will go through a bit later how it actually works and how it looks like. But couple of things before we jump in the whiteboard. One, actually maybe my favorite Teams tip and trick. My favorite Teams tip is PowerPoint Live. How many of you have not used PowerPoint Live? Someone? You don't? Okay.
No.
Okay, so if you share content in meeting, usually you maybe share your whole screen or a window. And then you ask the questions like, can you see my screen? Oh, I can't see the meeting chat, so I don't know what you're talking in the meeting chat. I can't see your video, so I'm sorry. All of your problems are solved if you share your content with PowerPoint Live. I promise you. You can choose basically any PowerPoint you have in your computer. And while you can still see the meeting chat, oh, it opens it another window. You can still see the meeting chat. You can see the attendees, all the videos, your own notes, and the PowerPoint. Now, if you don't want people to jump on the end of your PowerPoint show, just remember to click private view. And if you have several presenters in your workshop, PowerPoint Live is also powerful because you don't have to do the next slide thing anymore. You can just take control. There is a button, take control button, and then the next presenter can take control of the presentation and go through the slides. Then we come to the next presenter who takes control, etc. So very powerful way to share a PowerPoint in a meeting. So don't ever share a PowerPoint with the whole screen anymore. Thank you.
It also uses much less bandwidth.
Oh, that's a good tip.
So if you do like a town hall meeting for lots of people in the office, this reduces the used bandwidth in the network.
Yeah, that's a good point.
A lot.
Town hall doesn't support PowerPoint.
No, not. I mean, if you.
Could you repeat it in the mic?
It shares a lot less bandwidth. So if you have problems with the internet, you can. It's easier for the internet. I can speak English.
If I can say one thing where PowerPoint Live is really great also is the internet can affect that very fast, and yeah, then there's other settings, but let's not.
Yeah, let's not go deep into PowerPoint Live. But anyway, my favorite Teams tip. So let's jump to the actual star of the show today, which is not Teams meeting, it's Whiteboard. I think Whiteboard is a very much overlooked functionality in a Teams meeting. It can be as simple as just opening a whiteboard and putting on some post-it notes for orientation exercise or some ideation. It doesn't have to be any more than that. On the other hand, you can run like a huge, very well organized workshop through Whiteboard as well. So it's very multi-functionality. It has very many functionalities. The beauty is that when you share the whiteboard from here, actually anyone in the meeting, also externals, it's beautiful, can interact with the whiteboard inside the Teams meeting window. So basically it means that you don't have to jump through between different programs or applications. You can force your people just to stare at the meeting screen. They don't get lost in like opening a browser, going to Facebook, and they don't listen to you at all. They are in the Teams meeting during the whole meeting and still work with Whiteboard. Very nice. Now you can see my screen is a bit small, and all of this takes quite a lot of space. I have my chat in here, I have my picture in here, so you can actually go to View and Focus on Content. It's a bit bigger. And now I have this pre-prepared whiteboard for my workshop. I will go through some features in here. We'll look at some templates in here, a couple of words about loop, and a few facilitation techniques as well. Most of these things you can do with other whiteboard tools as well. You could do this with like physical post-it notes at the office, but if you're using Teams, you are having a hybrid or remote workshop, this is a very inclusive, very interactive way to actually work together. And I hope that people would use more of this tool. So I'm trying to zoom in because the Mac doesn't like zooming in with mouse in the whiteboard. Here you can see I prepared some content for the whiteboard. For example, here you can see our orientation exercise. I think overall a nice rule is that when you are having a meeting or workshop, especially if you have attendees you don't know, you should have some kind of like icebreaker, like breaking glasses or something, like to lighten up the mood, get to know you better. It can be such a simple thing as in here, just like tell me in one word, what are your expectations? Or it can be something more profound. But some kind of orientation exercise. If you are not good with inventing orientation exercises, go and ask Copilot. Copilot actually can tell you like 10 different exercises in just a couple of seconds. This is also made by Copilot. This setting in here is also my recommendation for how to create content in a whiteboard. And as you can see, it's super simple. You have a title, which is in big words, so you can see what this section is about. Then you have instructions. And in the instructions, you have the basic instructions, what you're going to do in this section, if you have some kind of rules for the section, and also timer for the section. So just people to know what you're going to do, when, and how. If you are very fancy, you can also do a small square around your section. It's easier to see. And then we are on doing post-it notes on whiteboard. As you can see, we have the timer in here, and there's actually 2 ways you can use timer. You can use the timer in whiteboard, in here, 5 minutes, okay? But nowadays, you can also use timer in Teams. Have someone used timer in Teams meeting? Vesco has. It can also be some preview feature, I don't know. But it's coming, so.
It's there.
It's there, okay. So if you have any kind of Teams meeting, you don't have to use whiteboard. You actually have a timer inside Teams, and then you can say, oh, Amanda, now you have 5 minutes to speak. when the timer goes off, Amanda will go mute. No, not really.
No.
But it's a very convenient feature.
Shots fired.
So timer, remember in Whiteboard or in a Teams meeting. Okay. Then we have ideation. So usually ideation, content creation, ideating things together is the basis of why we want to use Whiteboard or similar tool in meetings. We could do similar ideation with post-it notes. We could do it in Loop, for example. But here in Whiteboard, also externals can use this tool. Loop doesn't really work with externals. The same idea in here. We have the section theme, instructions, time, etc. But what do you do after you have ideated things? So you have now, I don't know, 32 post-it notes in here. I have a lot of ideas. The traditional way is to then go, for example, me, we, us. It's a facilitation technique that first of all you take time, for example, 2 minutes by yourself to ideate things in here. It's me. Then it's we. So you go, for example, in small breakout rooms or in some other small groups, and then you go through your post-it notes, maybe look for themes, discuss about the experience in small groups. And then it's us. So then you go, for example, round robin. You go through the whole team. They tell their experiences, or like have an open conversation with the whole workshop group. So me, we, us. That's a very traditional way of summarizing things. But of course, you can also use Copilot or AI for this. In Whiteboard, you have the Copilot button in here, and I really hope it will get more features sooner or later. At the moment, you can make post-it notes, categorize things, and summarize things. You really can't, for example, do a template, as you can do a template in Loop with Copilot. You can't do a template in here, but you can create post-it notes. And actually, my recommendation is that if you are ideating something, first do the human round. And after the human round, then you can actually generate content with AI and then compare the ideas, maybe combine the ideas. But you are in the workshop to ideate together with other peers, like with other humans. So utilize that first and then AI. But we want to categorize things. So categorize, it chooses a bit more post-it notes than I would have wanted, but let's go with this one for demo purposes. And this actually works pretty great if the selection is okay. So it actually goes through the post-it notes and it finds pretty nice categories for all of those. If you're not happy with this one, you can actually try it again, and it does it a bit differently. But this is very nice way and very quick way to actually categorize post-it notes and ideas. And actually we had at work we had a huge event, like 500 attendees, and those attendees were working in smaller groups, so ideating things. And at the end of the event, we wanted to showcase like a summary of the workshops. And as you can imagine, if we had 500 attendees, we had like thousands of ideas. But we used Whiteboard in the small workshops, and we used Copilot to categorize and summarize the ideas. And we were actually able to, in 30 minutes, to create pretty nice summaries of the workshops. Of course, we have to go through them like one by one to ensure that they are okay and what we want them to be. But for like demo purposes or like the first draft, it was really, really, really powerful. So I recommend testing this out. Cool. You can also use Summarize. So basically Summarize makes a text page out of your post-it notes. it works okay as well. Cool. What about then we have our ideas, we have them categorized, and we want to decide which one is the best idea. Because like competition is the key, and we always want to have the winner and the loser in our workshop, of course. So we have a couple of different things how we can vote in Teams meeting or at Whiteboard. One simple thing is to vote with emojis. And we actually have a template for that. So in Whiteboard, you have templates. I built this one by hand, like I did this myself, but we also have templates. One of my favorite templates is ideation template, which is for some reason called affinity diagram and not ideation template. But you can actually use these ready-made templates for your workshop. You don't have to do anything by yourself. They are very good, and you have like dozens of templates in there. Really, really nice templates. My other favorite template is, if I go to voting. I have emojis. Amanda loves this. So basically, I have heart, stars, check marks, oh fire. Sadly, there is no sad emoji. Maybe I would want to add a sad emoji in here. But the idea is that now we have our ideas, our post-it notes, and everyone can drag and drop their emoji in there. So now this has 1 star and 1 heart. It's pretty good. You could also add emojis in the post-it note, but it's not as visible and not as fun as this one. So sticker voting. If we have a small group, you can actually also use hand raising to vote. So basically just like raise hands if you are ready. If you have come back from your break, put your hand up. It's an easy way to see if people are actually back from the break. So raising hand, and you can see that people are back from the break. Now it seems stupid because I'm the only one in our meeting. Tero has declined. Too bad. Okay. Let's go through one more of my favorite templates. Ideation is one thing we quite often use Whiteboard, but also we use Whiteboard for retrospectives. So how did things go? What should I do better, or what our team could do better in the next quarter or next year? And we have several different templates for retrospectives as well, but my favorite is the sailboat, because it's very visual. You have, as you can see, many different things in here, but the sailboat, let's use this template. Oh, it's a big one. Is fun because you actually have visuals. You have sunshine, you have wind, obstacles as well, and now you can take your timer, then you can go through post-it notes, me v us. So by myself, in small groups with the whole team. Really recommend testing and trying this one out. Cool. Have any of you used some of the templates? Any other favorites you want to share? I'm looking to you.
Do you want me to do this thing now where I throw this at people?
Yeah, they were like, no way, don't ask me. So
Don't ask me. So well, I actually never seen this one. That was cool. New templates coming all along.
I don't have any favorite one, but I have used it.
yeah. No favorites.
Except my own.
Oh, that's a good. Thank you, Vesku. It's a great tip. You can actually create a own template. So if you have some kind of like organizational way of, for example, doing a retrospective or like a business proposition canvas, you can.
Those sad faces. Too.
Yeah, sad faces are my favorite as well. You can create a template in Whiteboard and then make it as a template. I don't have any templates. But then you don't have to go through all the steps every time you start a new whiteboard. You can use that template. You can share it with others as well.
Yeah, it creates anything you have there. It's created as a template.
Yeah, so
If you just have a new whiteboard, put those with those stars and hearts, and add the sad faces there, and then save that as a template. Then you have something you can drop into any whiteboard.
yeah, I just want a template with hearts and stars and
We have a
funny
question.
pages. Oh
So,
no.
question: if you share a whiteboard with somebody else, where's the whiteboard stored?
You said you won't ask any governance questions.
Bad man.
Bad man, yeah. I actually figured out that if you add a loop in Whiteboard, it's stored in a OneDrive. But it actually,
By default, one whiteboard also is stored in the OneDrive. But
yeah.
so I'm guessing if I would share it, it would be my OneDrive and share it with you. If I
Their
then leave
files.
the organization, then
Their files in your OneDrive.
Yeah,
okay.
but the thing is that if you are sharing a whiteboard in a meeting, there are externals. The externals don't get access to the whiteboard after the meeting.
Or even when you stop sharing.
Yeah, so that's a good point to notice. If you are using a whiteboard with externals, there is no way they can access the whiteboard after the meeting, or if you stop sharing it.
So you're basically stealing the information from them and keep it for
Yes,
yourself.
like
Yes.
my
Mine.
post-it notes.
My
Yeah,
precious.
Cool. Okay. Couple of more things from here before we have any other questions. So, one of my favorite facilitation tips as well is a parking lot. So we all have been in situations where we have a workshop, a very lively attendees, a lot of questions, a lot of great conversation, and then there comes ideas which may be good, maybe not that good, but they are not related to the theme of your meeting or the workshop. So what you do with those ideas? You could just like delete those, throw it away, or say that, hey, no, this is not the theme of our meeting. But we use parking lot. It's great because it's asphalt, it's parking lot. And we have a car in there as well. So basically, you can create a place for all the leftover ideas or things from the meeting. And this is a great way because then you can stop the conversation. So be like, hey, a great idea or an important point, but not for today, not for this workshop. So let's put it in here, and after the meeting, after the workshop, you agree what to do with the idea. So this actually gives you the permission to stop the discussion if it's not taking the workshop theme forward. I like this. And you can have a picture of the car in there as well. We'll get back to that in the end of our session. But I've mentioned loop many times. We don't go into details with loop in this session, but on top of all the post-it notes and everything you have in here, you can also use loop in Whiteboard, not with externals. If you have externals in your Whiteboard, they don't see those loop components. Sorry. With internals, it's okay. Loop components are stored in your OneDrive as well. So you can go and choose from a couple of different loop components. And as you can see, these have some of the same functionalities we just went through with post-it notes. So you can, for example, do a voting table. If I don't want to vote with emojis, I could use a loop voting table. It's pretty nice looking. It's also so small. I won't open it for you, but it's pretty nice looking. It's easy to use. And the best thing with Loop is that you can actually mention people. It has also emojis. It has colors on the labels. So it's a very visual thing, for example, to use for voting. You can also do progress tracker, like a Kanban board. You could have a Kanban board from the templates as well. many different options in here, whichever you prefer. And then you can also just have like a task list, checklist for loop. Now, would I recommend using these in Whiteboard? Probably not. The reason you could use these is that you have everything in the same place. So you don't get people like going to the browser and getting lost. You have the people in your Teams meeting inside one window. But the usability of these components in Whiteboard, it's not that great. As you can see, it's pretty small, pretty small in there. And it's difficult to, for example, remember to maybe share it afterwards, add it to your Teams channel, etc. So think about what are your goals, how do you want to utilize the different templates or loop components in Whiteboard, and choose your battles. You can use them if you want to, but I don't know, at the moment, it's maybe not the best use case or scenario. And Vesko has had enough, thank you.
Getting ready.
Cool, yeah, he has a session next door in soon, okay. Okay, so let's think we have had a great workshop. So much content, so many ideas, also something in the parking lot. Now I will exit my great, cool whiteboard, and let's take a look at the meeting notes. This is quite new, so Facilitator is quite new, but this is what it does. This agenda is the same agenda you would see in the Outlook invitation down below, which didn't work for me, but it's the same thing. And Facilitator actually reads the agenda, and let's take the timer off. Oh, it didn't see it. But it actually creates a timeline for your meeting. So if I'm saying that, for example, the first 10 minutes, introductions, then we have facilitation techniques, it actually creates a timeline for those things and sections in your workshop. And it's very easy to follow that you are on time in a meeting. I tested this before lunch, and it showed the timeline. Now it doesn't show the timeline, but it's there, like, I promise. And then Facilitator actually frees you from making meeting notes. Of course, you have the, for example, whiteboard. You have the post-it notes in there. You may have some secretary in the meeting making meeting notes or workshop notes, but it also does AI notes. And these are quite nice. They work quite well if you have your language set correctly. And it does this while we are talking. So actually, it changes the meeting notes the whole time we are talking. It also does tasks. Here is the parking lot task. Now, what this look like when we have ended the workshop, and then I want to do something with the information. So let's end the meeting, sadly. And let's go. Oh, it ended the whole meeting, nice. Let's go to here. Okay. Okay, cool. Not this one. Let's go to here. No, not this one. I have tried this so many times. Oh, here. Yes, this one. Thank you. Yeah, it does a separate recap for every time you start the meeting. So it's a demo effect. So in this recap, you can actually see who is talking. I'm talking the whole way. I like my own voice. You can see topics and chapters if you have those. You can see the shared content, so the whiteboard. Of course, you need access to the whiteboard if you want to see it later on. And then you can see the meeting notes. These are now a bit different meeting notes than you saw in the meeting, because these come after the AI has thought things through. And maybe one of my last tips is that if I'm not happy with these, I can actually nowadays customize the meeting notes. Have some of you seen this feature already? Because you can actually go and create template for meeting notes. Basically, you could do this with Copilot. You don't need to have this functionality. You can just take the transcript and work with Copilot. But what it does in here, it actually creates a meeting note based on your instructions. And this works really well. So if you actually have, for example, we have used this for like formal management board meetings, where you want to have this certain like agenda, certain way the notes are organized. You want to use very formal language, and we write the instructions in here, and then it creates a pretty perfect meeting notes for the formal meeting. And as you can see, this uses the same transcript as the one here in the back, but it's very, very different. It has very different things and very different themes. And you can actually save it as a template if you have several, for example, several workshops of the same team.
I think this is called for an applause. Don't you think?
It's for Microsoft applause.
No, but you showed it to us.
Cool. But I think that one of the most important things after the workshop and after the meeting is that like none of this really matters if you don't do something with this. So you can have your like 100 post-it notes in Whiteboard. You can have like your perfect AI-generated agenda, but what then? What next?
You're saying we still have to work. Oh.
Yeah, you still have to do something. Ugh. It's not all AI. So even before you start your meeting, you actually have to think of what to do with the information you get from the workshop. Do you want to share it with people via Teams message or email with externals maybe? Do you want to create a task list for your team? Is it in Planner? Is it in Loop? Is it in Excel? Whatever tool you choose. So think of what next, what then, before you even start planning your workshop. I'm right on time. Thank you.
Very good. Applause, applause. She's amazing.